Let's have a look at
oh, cool, yeah.
Blacklist here. What are you guys showing off? This is single player, right?
Yeah, this is a new map that we're showing off. Pat Redding, our game director of single player, is playing. So now we're in the Paladin in Fort Echelon, which is basically a plane. So that's a mobile hub, so you can talk to different people. And at the heart of the plane, there's the SMI, the Strategic Mission Interface, and that's kind of our window into the world. It's where we're showing all the content available to the players. So we're showing the single player content, the co-op content, and Spy vs. Mercs, obviously the adversarial content.
And that's all accessible from the
exactly. And then we're also showing your friends' presence online. So if you have got friends that are playing, you're going to see them little dots in missions, and so that's really cool. And now Pat's going to load up the briefing for a new mission that we're showing today.
So in terms of the single player stuff, then does that mean that you're able to sort of pick your own way through do you have like branching paths in the storyline?
So the single player storyline is linear, but we've got a couple of surprises in there. And the co-op, what's cool is all of our co-op missions, most of them are actually playable solo. So you can play them solo or in co-op, and you can play them in any order that you want, and you can play them before SP, during SP, or after, whenever you want.
Awesome. So for fans of the series, can you just set up what exactly is going on here in terms of, you guys have done a lot of have you retconned the story a bit? This Max kind of, what's the protagonist's name? Sam Fisher.
That's okay, it happens a lot. Happens a lot. People on the team mix me up with Sam sometimes.
Oh really? Michael Ironside, of course, is not on in terms of the voice actor stuff. It's kind of like, in terms of the story stuff, is this like a reboot, a rebranding?
It's actually about 6 months after Conviction.
Okay.
So, if you play Conviction, you finished it, you know that at the end of Conviction, Sam is really done with the government. He's done with Grimm. He doesn't want to have anything to do with her. So at the beginning of we let a little bit of time pass, and then at the beginning of the game, there's the first Blacklist attack that happens, and
what's our move?
Sam is there. He's at ground zero of that attack, and one of his friend Vic is also there. He's injured. So when that happens, the president asks Sam to not only try to stop the Blacklist, but to become the leader of Fort Echelon. So that's interesting for us. It's giving us a new angle on Sam, a new perspective on him. Right? He's used to be the lone wolf, and now the game is about him becoming having this transition from being the lone wolf to the pack leader.
Yeah. From what you guys have shown off as well, it looks very much like you were stepping back into the sort of what Splinter Cell was previously, perhaps.
Yeah,
at least in terms of Conviction. Very action orientated as well. How are you guys incorporating stealth? Obviously, it's such a core piece of what Splinter Cell is.
Actually, we really wanted to bring back the cool stuff that really put the franchise in the map. Sam in the op suit, and we brought back a lot of elements that we didn't have time to bring in on Conviction. But really, what we're trying to do with Blacklist is really. It's the playstyles. I'm always talking about the playstyles. When we started on the game in Toronto, we read a lot of reviews of the game, of Conviction. We talked to fans. We read a lot of forums, and we realized that there were actually 3 types of players, people that love Splinter Cell. There was the purist, right? The old school stealth. Exactly. They don't want to be seen. Exactly. They want to, they want to whistle. They want to throw a sticky noise maker to make some noise, but they don't want to touch anyone.
I think that's the bracket I fall into.
Yeah. Okay. So there's these guys. So Pat now is showing actually the customization system. So I think one thing that I'm really excited about is that you're playing Sam Fisher, but it's your Sam. It's the way you want. So talking about the play styles, we have a lot of gadgets that support the different play styles. So sticky noise maker, sticky camera, sticky EMP, to turn off the lights. So you can fully customize everything. The goggles, Pat's buying some goggles now. So we're really, it's all about you playing the way you want. So we've got the ghost play style. On the other end of the spectrum, there's the players that are like, I'm Sam Fisher, I've got the freedom, I want to do whatever it takes. If I want to throw frag grenades, exactly.
Body count.
Exactly. So these guys, we want to give them stuff too. And then I think there's that middle player, the player that we kind of created with the gameplay loop that we introduced in Conviction, the Panther player, right? The guy that is the silent predator, is a silent killer, right? He doesn't want to be seen, but he wants to take out some people, right? So that's mark and execute, that's last known position. And we've really built the game with those 3 play styles in mind. All our economy, we've got the customization system, and that's backed by an economy system.
Yeah.
And after each map, you basically get an after-action report that judges you, that ranks you on what you did. And then you've got a bar. It's like you've been ghost for 4,600 points. You've been blah, 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 blah. And then if you do enough in one play style, you master that play style. You get even more money, and then you can see the scores of your friends. You can compare with them.
How difficult is it to market a game in that way, where stealth sometimes when you're like releasing trailers, you're releasing gameplay, sometimes it's difficult to show off the nuance of a stealth experience. A lot of what we saw when you guys were first showing off Blacklist was very much the sort of running around, shooting dudes, smoking very fast gameplay. Is there like a tendency sometimes when you're showing off the game to do that just so it grabs people's attention?
Well, it's always difficult to show. I mean, Blacklist is probably it's definitely the biggest Splinter Cell we've ever made, right? So we've got solo, we've got co-op, we've got Spy versus Mercs, and we have all the play styles. The challenge is always, hey, we're on the Microsoft stage at E3 and we've got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we show? And then we show daylight, but we've got a lot of nighttime maps, and so it's always challenging to please everyone, I guess, but it was interesting. I think we some people were a bit stressed after E3 that we were going too much action and too much daylight, but I think since then we've showed that we had all the rest of the content. For us it was as a player, I always want to do something different. I don't want to feel like I'm playing this formula game that, same thing when we watch TV shows. At one point you just see what they're doing.
Yeah, for sure.
You see the formula and you get bored, right?
You want to keep getting surprised.
Exactly. So you want to surprise the player. And so we really tried on Blacklist to have a lot of variety to exactly do that, to surprise the player.
So let's talk about the multiplayer briefly. Of course, you're bringing back the very popular Spies v Mercs mode. What type of game modes do you have involved in that?
So
it's quite expansive.
We haven't talked about everything yet.
Okay.
But the two game modes that we're talking about is SVM Classic and SVM Blacklist. And the Classic is obviously the more pure expression, old school version of it, if you want. So it's 2 versus 2. The lighting in the maps is a lot darker. So the spies, it's very intimate. The spies are obviously, master of the environment, 3D navigation,
infiltrating.
Exactly, hand to hand. They don't even have they only have a taser. They have a crossbow that shocks, so they don't even have a weapon to kill. So you need to do it hand to hand. And then the mercenaries, obviously, like the opposite, master of the ground, master of frontal confrontation, and it's beautiful. We're we have at the Michelin Lounge, we've got a nice setup where people are playing and you hear yelling all the time, and sometimes no one's talking because it's super intense, and then you feel the tension go up, and then there's contact, it explodes, and I'm gonna get you. So it's really cool.
Let's talk about what's being played here. I just saw like a little EMP thrown, turn off the lights.
Pat. Good kill. Yeah, you got it. Stealth knockout. So see, that's the economy. So 125. So the 3 dots, that's the ghost play style. So
this is level in Paraguay. What exactly is going on here? Where's Sam trying to get?
So they're after the trace of a guy named Reza Nouri that has. He's involved in the Blacklist. Let's say that he's been involved in the Blacklist, and in the previous map, Sam captured Andrew Coben, who was a character in Conviction that is again involved in some bad things. So here we're going in and we want to ask some questions to Reza Nouri, and he's kind of this super scared, paranoid person that he's got a safe room in there, and so Pat's playing super stealth. He's stirring up some lights, shooting out some lights. There's a dog in there somewhere, so that's one of the vision modes that we have. I played it last night.
Right?
Huh?
Sorry, you were saying?
No, because we did a panel yesterday.
Yeah.
And I played this live in front of I don't know how many hundreds of people, and I was so scared about the dog because the dog smells you. Oh, Pat! Detected. There we go.
Oh, he's gonna break his neck. Oh, poor doggy.
That's dead.
Put him down.
That's it. You have to retry.
The dog got him. The dog got him. Don't mess with dogs, man. Dogs don't even.
Dogs are interesting for a stealth game, right? Because usually stealth is all about line of sight.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, and then suddenly a dog can smell you.
Line of smell.
Exactly. Circle of smell.
Sure. I've copywritten that. You're gonna have to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that.
We'll buy the rights.
Nice. Just put my face in the game.
You want that?
Just make me Sam. Be like Irish Sam.
We actually 3D scanned a lot of the people of the team.
Oh, really?
To do the faces, yeah. Yeah, I'm a terrorist. It was so super funny one day one of the testers came and saw me and he's like, Max, I want to tell you, every time I see you in the game, I go non-lethal on you.
Oh, that's
and I'm like,
so
thank you. I'm sure he was lying.
What was it? Was it the beard? Is that what it was?
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, man, you got any of your bosses in there? You scan them in, kind of ice those fools.
No bosses.
You get on with your...
No bosses. But it's always fun to do that. On Rainbow Six 3, a lot of the team, all the game designers turned out to be hostages.
Oh, really? All those faces.
Yeah. They were all the hostages.
I often wondered about that, even in the first Rainbow Six games, they were all just like, you know, they just looked like faces, like photographs.
Yeah.
That was a thing for like maybe like 10 years in games design, when faces started to look realistic and they started having to take photographs, or even in like codecs, just using like friends of the family and stuff like that.
Exactly. Or even in paintings and stuff. I think the artists have so much fun with that. We have so many guys that like have strange versions of their faces on walls as like abstract paintings, and it's good. The guys are having fun. So.
It's good fun. So what's the tactic here then for the doggy?
I don't know. Pat's having he's having some problems.
Sleeping gas.
Sleeping gas. I love that.
I think people obviously when you're doing demos on live stages, often there's a willingness to try and not die. But when it comes to a game like Splinter Cell, I think dying is part of the game experience. Like what makes these games interesting is the difficulty involved in them.
Exactly,
So,
it's the challenge. And on Blacklist, what we're doing with the difficulty levels, we have 4 difficulty levels. So we have rookie, normal, realistic, and our last difficulty level is called perfectionist.
Yeah.
And in perfectionist, we just go all out. We remove mark and execute.
Oh wow!
The goggles don't see through walls anymore.
Wow!
So you have to really be careful.
Do you still have the last scene shadow?
So the last scene position, I think it's something you can disable in the pause menu. So I don't think I don't remember if we linked it. I don't think we did. And then you can carry less gear also. So you know every bullet you have counts. And
excellent.
So
that's for the purists.
Oh yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I'm actually I'm worried that no one has finished the game in Perfectionist back in Toronto. I wanted to call them and ask, like, are we sure this is feasible? So I'm sure someone
should be 200. Should be a 200 gamer points achievement right there for going the whole way.
Yeah. We have an achievement for that. We also have an achievement if you do a full non-lethal playthrough with Sam. So so we have a couple of surprises where maybe you're not actually playing Sam, but as soon as you're Sam, if you go 100% and you don't kill anyone, then you get an achievement.
Excellent. What's it like having the Game Here Comic-Con then? Have you guys had hands-on with regular folks just enjoying it?
Oh yeah, exactly. So we're showing it off. We're in a bar that's hosted by Machinima.
Whereabouts is it?
It's on 4th Street. It's 500 4th. Yeah, and
500 4th Street.
500 4th Street. And we've got like 8 pods for SVM, so 2 against 2 and 2 against 2. And then on the sides, we've got some co-op, we've got some solo also. And it's great. This morning, there were 2 guys that were playing co-op. And I love co-op because you get, like, it's all the communication, right?
Yeah.
He's here, I got him, did you see him, wait for me, And the 2 guys were playing, and I just sat down next to them. And I was like, hey guys, how you doing? And they're like, who are you? Like, go away. And I was just, no problem. And then I was just listening to them, and it was beautiful because they were like super stressed, super tactical, and they were doing super well. And then they were playing a co-op map where
were they strangers or friends either?
It turned out they were cousins.
Okay, nice.
And so they were playing one of the co-op maps where you're not allowed to be detected, and you have 3 objectives you need to do, and they were at their 3rd, and they got detected. And they're like, oh shit, blah blah blah. And then they're like, do you want to play? I'm like, it's okay, I play all the time, don't worry about it.
That's excellent. Have you got a chance to hop in and take a look around Comic-Con as well yourself?
A little bit. I saw I'm a big Lego fan, so I went to check the Lego stuff. They were selling the Back to the Future DeLorean.
Oh really?
Yeah, but they were sold out by the time we went there, so I was super disappointed. I wanted to get it for Kent, a friend at work.
I was surprised how much Lego there was there. This is like a massive booth.
Lego is exploding. I have a 6-year-old son, and like he's so happy because I'm addicted too.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh okay, we'll buy one. Don't worry. Yeah. All right, Pat successfully passed that point.
Nice work.
You know, what's cool is like because Sam's the leader, this is a good example of where Sam's really communicating with the team and using the team to support him. And it's something that's kind of new for Sam to not just be the guy on the ground, but also to be the leader.
How old is Sam now? Like,
does he age?
Been a couple of games. Is that what it is? Yeah.
In my head, he's 50 something maybe. You know, like. It's like James Bond.
Yeah, okay.
How old is Batman? How old is James Bond? It's, so often people are like, oh, he's aging, he should retire. I don't want Sam to retire, right? Sam is great. Sam's an amazing character.
Heading there.
Yeah, that James Bond reference, that's a good one, actually.
Yeah,
you should
like
hold
that?
on to that one. Yeah.
I can say it again if you want, James Bond.
You are go.
So is this another part of the mission then? Are we kind of, what's the checkpointing like in terms of like saving? Can you do hard saves on your own? Is it based on difficulty level?
It's all checkpoints. It's all checkpoints. It's a good way for us to balance difficulty also.
So even in like purist modes and stuff, you'll still...
Yeah, the checkpoints are at the same place, exactly.
How long are the levels then, if that's the case? Like,
it really depends on your difficulty and how good you are.
Oh, of course,
it's hard for us to judge because we're you know, I know everything in the game, so when I play I can be a bit faster.
Yeah.
But in play tests, you know, most of our maps last you know, 50 an hour. But it depends. We've got a lot of like I was talking about variety before, so all of our maps are very different. So we've got some really smaller maps, some longer maps.
So in terms of the environments then, obviously we're looking at some sweet South American tropical nonsense going on here.
Yeah, well, that was I think that was interesting for us also, right? Is because we had Fort Echelon in a plane and we could travel the world.
You can go wherever you want.
Exactly.
It's good.
Exactly. So we have a lot of missions all around the world. You know, Spy versus Mercs and co-op are also all around the world. And the single player story like starts a little bit more, you know, in Europe and all that, and then as it converges, it's more aimed at the United States, because the Blacklist are attacks on U.S. soil.
So he's trying to infiltrate here again. He's using the marking
He's
system.
marking now. He's got the sticky shocker on.
Here we go. Watch yourself. You guys, is it all the tool set based on what Sam has himself? Is there any sort of environmental kills or interacting with objects to maybe find dynamic places
we've got
to
the
hide?
classic exploding barrels left and right and the fire extinguishers, right? You need those. So pass using the last known position. Oh,
Jump up, you got it. Oh man, he smoked again. I love that. Some people in the Twitch chat were saying, yeah, they got modes in these demos where you can live forever. You know, just stick on God mode and play the game. You wouldn't really get the real Splinter Cell experience, really, if that was the case.
Oh, we do it. We do it at E3 usually.
Yeah.
At E3 on if you're on a Microsoft stage or on a Sony stage,
so
or you really don't want to die, and it's crazy. I mean, those moments. I don't know why we do it. It's so stressful.
Yeah.
You know, playing live in front of it's like it's like playing music or something in front of a band, right? You're performing because it's not just about playing well, but it's about making the game look good. It's about controlling the camera. It's about
showing it off.
And we practice so much. Like our not this E3 but the E3 before, we were at the Microsoft press conference and Alex and I were on stage and we practiced with in our hotel room for like 3 days non-stop.
So
just
why? Why not just record it? Is it? Do you think gamers when they're watching these
I think people appreciate it. I think people appreciate when you're playing your game live, but it's for sure it's stressful. And we had Laurent, our lead game designer, who was also practicing because you always want to have a guy in backup, right, in case Alex cuts a finger or something while waiting a steak. So the two guys were playing and they were practicing and they were so good. Like at the end of the third day of practice, just the day before the show, we recorded them playing.
Yeah. And
you would think that it was like one Xbox outputting at two TVs.
Oh really? Yeah.
They had rehearsed so well, the timing and everything. It was perfect. And then went on stage and Alex played super well and it was was a good demo. So, but it's hard a Splinter Cell game because RAI is systemic, right? RAI is not scripted.
Yes.
So it's the beauty of the game, right? You retry, and it's all about
different stuff happens.
Exactly, and the AI surprising you, and you trying different gadgets with the AI, and them reacting. So it just makes it for so much more stressful when you're trying to demo, exactly the perfect playthrough.
Yeah, you don't want to be that one guy who messes up or the technical difficulty. I think Battlefield 3 had a little bit of trouble this
That's
year.
such a shame.
Luck of the draw. It
It's
seems
so
to be.
you don't want that. On Conviction, we also did at E3 on Conviction a demo, and Alex, like, we had a bug where an AI was supposed to be standing behind cover,
Yeah.
and Alex was supposed to mark him, and the guy decided to crouch. The AI decided to crouch, so Alex
no.
couldn't mark him. And you can check that video online, but it was supposed to be bash mark the two guys when you're snake camming, then bash the door, execute, shoot the two guys, and then
Nice and clean.
go. And then and I'm on stage, I'm talking, Alex is playing, and it's like I'm a passenger in a car that I'm not controlling,
Yeah.
and then we start skidding, right? I'm like, and like we practice so much that in my head I'm playing also, I'm like, okay, mark the guy on the right, perfect, mark the guy on the, Alex, why are you not marking the guy on the, what's happening, and then, oh shit, the guy's crouched, and then Alex, he has to play, right? We can't just say, oh, we'll retry, so Alex bashes the door, executes only the guy on the right, then he turns and he shoots in the cover, the guy won't die, the guy gets up, starts shooting, the screen is flashing, Alex jumps out the window, and he saved it, he didn't die, but it was like such a crazy, like, our hearts, I think my heart stopped there, and it just restarted once we left the stage.
Awesome. Well, Max, thank you for coming on.
Oh, cool, thank you very much.
Best of luck with the rest of the game, everyone in
Thank
Ubisoft
you.
Toronto. Tell the folks at home when Splinter Cell Blacklist is coming out. And on what platform?
So soon.
Too soon.
August 20th.
August 20th.
It's coming. It's like a
Nearly
month.
done.
I know, and it's like 360, PlayStation 3, Wii U, and PC.
Awesome. Well, thanks very much for coming on stage, man.
Thanks for having us.
We're going to shoot it over to Homer, who's at Bandai at the moment, but right after that, then stick around as well, because Chris Waters is going to be playing Scribble Knots Unmasked right here at the Comic-Con 2013 booth at GameSpot at the base station. Stick around. We'll be back in a few minutes.